Welcome back, everyone, to the North American LCS. Kobe and I are joined by TSM's support Special. How you doing?
Could be better. Wasn't the cleanest game, but I mean, we came out on top, and that's always good to see.
So what went wrong?
Lots of things went wrong. Our
right.
bot lane, we didn't do as well as we usually do, and I think Bjergsen had a slightly rough start, but he sort of did well in the end. And then Darius came in really hard and just kind of smashed everybody, and for burning fire, Shyvana.
So I do want to start out the first question because they chose the Urgot Rocket lane because a lot of people haven't played against it. To you, what's the most important thing about laning against an Urgot Soraka lane that you have to keep in mind?
So most people haven't been playing against Soraka much, and they definitely haven't been playing against Urgot much. And people often forget how much damage Urgot does, and people don't also forget the philosophy against Soraka, which is don't focus one target. And that's what we kind of did improperly. Every time you focus Urgot, Soraka heals, 100 armor, you focus Soraka. That's how you're supposed to do it. But we weren't exactly doing it correctly, and we often fought without Ignite, and it was just really messy. We lost a lot of fights bottom in the 3v3 with the jungler, and that was not good at all.
What do you feel about a Soraka support in general? Do you like the pick? Is it strong?
It's definitely a niche pick. It works really well with Urgot because Urgot just does so much damage early on, and Soraka is weak early on, and they kind of make up for each other for make up their weaknesses. But again, Soraka is okay late game, and Urgot is just non-existent. And that's kind of what happened. Once they lost their lead, there was just no coming back.
What do you think about the strategy of not targeting any bans at Bjergsen and letting him have his choice of all mid lane picks as if you were giving tips to people going up against TSM?
Oh, dude, I welcome it. I should tell him to not ban out Bjergsen. Actually, just don't do any bans.
Just don't ban out.
Yeah,
Good tip.
But yeah, Bjergsen he really likes that LeBlanc. He does really well on it, and even though he got ganked early on, he died first blood. He still came back hard, and he just did really well against the Fizz. And Fizz, I mean, he is more of a mid-game champion, and he just got destroyed. Late game, no effect. Like, we just never gave Fizz the opportunity to go in. Yeah. And we played around Fizz, and Bjergsen just played really well in his lane, and we were really happy with that.
So I actually want to ask you, what does it mean to play around Fizz? What do you do as a team?
Yeah, so Fizz, he's different from a lot of AP champions. For example, LeBlanc, right? She goes in, goes back out. There is like a sort of process where she has to go in, but she can also get out of a fight instantly. Fizz, on the other hand, he has to go in and he stays in. He has no spells to get out from. And what that means is that when we constantly move back and kite back, and Fizz is constantly chasing us, he has no chance to attack us, and that's how we won our fights, but not giving Fizz a target to attack.
Oh, it's nice. So actually, let's kind of put that into practice here. We have a replay of a team fight on the river about 24 minutes in. If we can get that on the screen, especially if you want to take us through this battle.
All right, so I don't know when this is, but okay. So Pantheon's kind of got caught here, and he just explodes. He didn't get to initiate, and we were in a position where I don't know. Darius is just super fed, and he just does so much damage. And I was surprised I didn't go down first. I think Audwin died really early, but literally all we did was focus Pantheon, and then we just keep focusing. Darius does so much AoE damage. Turtle is still in the back. He didn't take any damage at all, and we just finished off target because we have Silver all to chase, and then we landed good hooks, and we literally just won because Darius is so fed. And we weren't giving, like, nobody died to Fizz except for Audwin, which is okay.
Yeah, whatever. Odd1 dying is not important. Good hook, of course, finishes it up.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think we got, Dragon off this. Yeah, we were kind of hesitant with our calls there. We actually were thinking about going to Baron, but then we saw the Pantheon was coming back up, and he saw it all. It was just like, it's really weird playing against a Pantheon jungle because he has that global and he has Smite, so it makes it really hard to do objectives like Baron quickly.
Yeah, so what if this EG plan had really worked out? Like, they had a really good plan coming into this game. If you go up against like a Fizz that gets going and a Pantheon jungle, how would you guys have reacted if the early game was a bit tougher?
If it was even harder than that, it would have been hard to come back. But fortunately, Bjergsen on LeBlanc, like LeBlanc beats Fizz in the lane 1v1 for sure, and Fizz is not supposed to get ahead, but if for some reason Fizz managed to get ahead, it would have been really hard for us to come back because what happened is they would just run on us, they have Soraka all and stuff like that, and we would, like, Fizz would just kind of two-shot people, and our only way to fight this would be to just constantly come back, use Silver to run away, and use Talisman to run away, and just constantly throw spells at them, and hopefully they get chased down far enough where they have nowhere to run, and we can slowly turn them. There is no way we can fight that 5v5 without having to run away.
Okay, so then I want to ask you what sort of happened as you got into the mid game, because you did get ahead, you got a bit of a lead, and Krepo had said that the team comp they were running, if they got behind, they would probably stay behind, and they started forcing things really hard, like crazy Pantheon jumps, a lot of all-ins, just like swaps for single kills. How do you fight against a team that just like turns it on super aggressive mid game?
Well, I it's hard to say. I mean, we knew that they want to fight Dragon and stuff like that, and we knew the only way we can fight is if we constantly kite back. And that's really the game plan that we had. It was just literally don't give them a target to hit. We told Darius, he's Shyvana, right? Usually you dive in Shyvana. No, don't do that. Just hit the closest target. Let Turtle, let Auto AoE, let Bjergsen just kill one target super, super fast. And that way we were not like running the Straka heals and just slowly getting poked down. It's so they're the ones getting poked down, not us. And that's the only way we can fight it, because this is how strong a team comp is in an actual 5v5.
Okay, so then moving on, you guys, of course, had a good game by the end of it all. You come through, you win this one. You're sitting here at the top of the standings. How do you keep yourselves in prime shape? How do you keep from slipping a game?
It's really tough. Honestly, our game against Cloud9 was really close. Even this game was fairly close. We were like, after I think we lost Dragon, like maybe 2 kills really early into the game, our communication kind of shut down a little bit. But it was really just the team being like, hey guys, their team comp is early game. We're mid game, late game. Just make sure we hold out, keep laning phase, don't die anymore, and we're going to be okay. And then that's kind of what happened. And we were just really lucky that their team comp just doesn't scale into mid and late game, and we managed to win because our mid and late game were just better.
So I got Crepo's thoughts on the Saint Vicious support that's going to come up here pretty soon. I want to get your thoughts, too. Have you actually played against it at all? What's your experience with the Saint support?
Yeah, surprisingly, I was in a game, and Saint was last pick. I usually play support in solo queue, and Saint was like, hey man, I want support. I'm like, sure. I pick AD, I go with Saint. I think we get dumpstered bottom super hard. I think we were like 3 and like 12 or something. We were doing decent early on, but then once like knowing when ganks are gonna come in, knowing how to fight like level 6s with ults, just knowing just the little things about support that people don't usually know, Saint doesn't have yet. I mean, he might have learned it by now, but at the same time, it's something that takes a lot of time to learn, and usually people don't get it in a couple weeks.
So you're going to be matching up against him tomorrow. How are you going to take advantage of that lack of knowledge that he has?
I just hope he goes down bottom 2v2, and we can show Turtle, or we can show Saint with Turtle, just how bot lane is supposed to be played.
Wow. All right. So then, got a question for you. Our Twitter question we'd asked our audience. I want to ask you as well. Who from the LCS outside of TSM would you duo queue with, and why is it Saint Vicious?
Well, I mean, sometimes like you don't want to win all your games. Like if you want to drop out a challenger or something, then yeah, it's great.
Oh.
I'm just kidding. No, it's just like he plays support, I play support. It's just not the right person to dual queue with.
But who would you actually play with?
Oh, that's a tough question. There's lots of players that are good, right? I mean, okay, so outside TSM, I think LMQ's AD, Vasily, he's actually really good. He plays really aggressive. I like that. He kind of goes for risky plays. He plays really similar to Turtle, but I think Turtle just beats him in terms of mechanics. So, I mean, I would say Turtle, of course, but then, Vasily, he's a close second. Just he has that aggressive playstyle that I like to see. Just doesn't have the mechanics back it up yet.
All right, so one final question for you. What are the goals of TSM this season?
I mean, really, the goal is going to be the same for all teams, win Worlds, right?
Okay.
And for TSM, it's really, like, we want to win Worlds. At the same time, we want to really get ahead of the NA scene. And do that, we need to do really well this split, do really well next split, and hopefully do well Worlds. And that's, again, that's our goal. But the first step is really just to dominate NA scene and then move on from there.
All right, Special, thank you very much. Congratulations on your win, and we'll see you against Curse tomorrow. Guys, we got more games, so let's send it back to the desk with Riv and Jack.